So aneuploidy is with the sex chromosomes. So these chromosomes are at the very end of a karyotype. If I go up to a karyotype here, they are the X and the Y. And so aneuploidy is dealing with those. And they can either be a trisomy, meaning that there's 3 chromosomes instead of 2, or there can be a monosomy, meaning there's 1 chromosome instead of 2. And I do want you guys to know that really the X chromosome is not just about being a girl or a sex of somebody. The X chromosome has a bunch of different characteristics on it, and we'll talk about that when you guys get to actual genetics and Punnett squares and whatnot. But for example, like color blindness is on the X chromosome and other things. Like it's not just about being a girl or a boy. Now the Y chromosome is. And the Y chromosome is really tiny. It only has 2 genes on it. It has a gene to make you have ear hair, and there's a gene to make you a boy. It's called the SRY gene, ironically named the sorry gene. Sorry for being a guy, I guess. And that's it on the Y chromosome. So the Y chromosome is really small. So there are 3 different aneuploidies here. We have XXY, XXX, XYY, and XO. O meaning that there's no other chromosome. XXY is called Klinefelter syndrome. It is the sex of the person is a boy or a guy, and typically they have female-like features, and their male features are a little bit lacking because not only do they have the chromosome to make you a guy, you have a lot of the chromosomes or things that do kind of make you a little bit of a girl, and the 2 X's kind of outweigh the Y a little bit. So the person has some features of a girl and some features of a guy. Not crazy amounts. I mean, Klinefelter's is a range. It's not just one kind of set thing, but things that you kind of see is you don't really have facial hair. Body hair is very limited. Unlike a lot of guys, their bones are weaker. Their breast tissue is a little bit more than what a guy would have. They're more pear-shaped. They have broader hips and longer legs. You're going to find out with all these, something we're still trying to figure out is all the aneuploidies for sex chromosomes. Technically, someone's usually taller. That's a trait of almost all of them. And so that's kind of unique. So this is Klinefelter's. Trisomy X is when a girl has 3 X chromosomes. And realistically, there are no actual physical features that are set for triple X syndrome. If they do have a distinctive physical feature, it's due to some other genetic I won't say issue, but thing that's going on. But triple X syndrome is really just about having 3. They're typically taller. They typically have learning disabilities and delayed speech, and they typically have a little bit weaker muscle tone. But realistically, triple X syndrome, someone could go through their whole life and never know that they had triple X syndrome unless they got a DNA test. XXY is Jacobs syndrome. It is very similar to triple X. They're tall. It's a guy. They have 2 Y chromosomes, and they might have a little bit of learning issues. There's some science that isn't very good that say that they have behavior issues, just like triple X, but we really think that that's kind of a fake thing, and that data was from like the 1940s, 1950s. We really have done much since then, and we don't think it's really that important to. Basically, someone could be XX or XYY and never know. But it's called Jacobs syndrome. They also have they have acne more often, but it's not really a big thing either. And then the last one is Turner syndrome. Turner syndrome is someone that is XO or just has 1 X. There are more problems with just having 1 X, and they're wide ranging. One of the issues with just having 1 X, like I said, there's a lot of characteristics on the X chromosome beyond being a girl. And this X chromosome, if you only have 1 of them and there's an error in your X chromosome, a normal person would have another X chromosome from the other parent to make up for that mistake. If you just have 1 X, you just have that error. And so there's a wide range of problems that you could have. As you can see, this down here, there's a list of them. I think the major thing that comes out of XO is usually infertility. They can't have children. But that's about it. There's not a ton of problems. There's some physical things, but not a lot. So these guys aren't as serious as Patau's or Edward or Down syndrome, but they do affect human beings, and people do have them, and they are not common, but they're probably more common than you think.